What's up, guys? It is RGT85. Happy Tuesday. Yes, I missed you guys yesterday. I did not upload on Monday, but I was out buying furniture, and furniture is very expensive, so make sure you guys watch this video and share it so that I can recoup some of my losses. But of course, we have to talk about what's going on in the world of video games. Got a couple stories I want to cover today, so if this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like and share the video as well. But without any further ado, let's talk about what's going on in the world of video games. And we're going to start things off with updates on two upcoming Nintendo Switch games, both of which I'm really looking forward to. Now, first off, we're going to talk a little bit about World War Z. Now, this is a game, of course, came out on the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and I believe it also came out on the PC as well. I ended up playing it on the Xbox One because it was added to Game Pass, and I actually really liked the game. It was pretty fun. I sunk a good bit of time into it, but I'm definitely curious to see how the Nintendo Switch port is going to turn out in terms of graphics and performance. Now, Saber Interactive is handling this port, so it should be a really well done port. There's a bunch of the DLC included in the Nintendo Switch version of the game as well, and most importantly, now we have a release date for this game, which is November 3rd. So World War Z will be hitting the Nintendo Switch on November 3rd, and I think I'm going to pick up the Switch version of the game just because, well, there's going to be a lot of people who don't know how to play the game playing the Nintendo Switch version of the game, and I always enjoy stuff like that. Now, if you've never played this game before, it's essentially a game where you're going through hordes of zombies in different locations with some teammates, and it's pretty pick up and play, but there is a lot of strategy involved in it. It's a really fun game, a really solid game if you enjoy online multiplayer experiences where you can play some games with your friends. So I'm definitely curious to see how the Switch version of this game turns out. Like I said, the graphics and the performance are going to be very key issues for the Nintendo Switch version. Hopefully they do a good job bringing this game over to the Switch, but like I said, it is Saber Interactive, so I do have some high hopes for it. So yeah, this game will be releasing on November 3rd according to the Nintendo Switch's eShop, which almost leads me to believe that maybe this was supposed to be an announcement for a Nintendo Direct. Hey, I still think we're gonna get a Nintendo Direct this month. We thought it might be happening on September 8th, but at the time of the filming of this video, which is September 6th at nighttime, we have not gotten an announcement yet. Now, it could be one of those Nintendo Direct minis where they announce it the day beforehand. Who really knows? But as of right now, we don't have a concrete release date for the Nintendo Direct, but we do have a concrete release date for World War Z on the Switch. And the next game we're going to talk about is a game that comes out on September 14th. It's a game I'm really looking forward to. I'm actually trying to get a review copy of this game so that I can play it early, and that is Cruisn Blast, which is coming out in the USA on September 14th. Like, I love the Cruisn series. I don't care what anyone says. Arcade racing games are fun. Ridge Racer is fun. Daytona USA is fun. The Cruisn series is fun. So this is a game I'm really looking forward to. Now, of course, this game was an arcade game that is being brought over to the Nintendo Switch. Well, Nintendo Everything actually got some exclusive information on the performance of the Nintendo Switch version of the game, which I guess is the only version of the game, so I don't know why I said that. But it looks like it's going to be a really good port of this game. Now, according to Nintendo Everything, Cruisn Blast is going to run at 60 frames per second in single player mode when playing it in docked or playing it in handheld mode. When playing it in docked mode, it'll be at 1080p, 720p in handheld mode. So that's pretty much the best you can get out of the Nintendo Switch. 1080p and 60 frames per second in docked mode, 720p and 60 frames per second in handheld mode. Now, as far as the local multiplayer is concerned, for 2, 3, and 4 player split screen modes, the game will run at 60 frames per second in docked mode and 30 frames per second in handheld mode. But still, you're able to get 60 frames per second out of the game when playing it in docked mode, and it's split into 4 ways. So I think that's pretty impressive. You know, this obviously isn't just like some random half-ass port of this game. It seems like this game has a lot of time and care put into it, and I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, there's a dinosaur racetrack, and there's like a dinosaur on it and stuff. There's a whole bunch of racetracks. You're of course trying to race other people. It's going to be a really fun game, and it looks like the performance of the game will be very solid. Now, as far as the graphics and stuff are concerned, we still have to see how that game is going to be. Like I said, I plan on reviewing this game one way or another. If I can get an early review copy, that would be cool. If not, I'll just pick it up because, I mean, it's a budget game anyway, so who really cares? It'd be a nice game to have in the physical collection. But yeah, it looks like Cruisn Blast is going to be a really solid experience on the Switch, and World War Z comes out on November 3rd, so some cool updates for Nintendo Switch games. And finally, a few days ago on the channel, we of course talked about Well, probably one of the biggest disappointments of 2021 for me, and that is Sonic Colors Ultimate on the Nintendo Switch, because Jesus Christ, man, what happened with this game? Like, how do you mess up a Wii port like so bad on the Nintendo Switch? Now, if you looked at the pinned comment that I made on that video, I was actually not home on Sunday when that video went up, and supposedly one of the seizure-inducing videos was actually done via an emulator, so that sort of threw a monkey wrench into the performance, things of that nature, and just that whole sort of discussion. But GameXplain actually was able to replicate some of the seizure-inducing elements of the game when playing it on the Nintendo Switch, so it's not like it doesn't exist. I just don't think it exists quite in that capacity that it did on the emulator. But even with that aside, like, the game has major core issues. Like, I could look past the 30 frames per second, but like disappearing platforms, lasers not showing up and hitting you and stuff like that, like, this is a half-ass version of the game. And of course, we found out why, because Blind Squirrel, the lovely team behind the amazing WWE 2K18 for the Nintendo Switch, has decided to come back and haunt me once again. You're ruining wrestling for me. You're ruining Sonic the Hedgehog for me. What have I done to you, Blind Squirrel? Like, Jesus Lord, like, just stop. Stop ruining my childhood games and franchises I love. Well, Sega has been hearing your plight and your cries about this game. Obviously, this game has not released, and it's actually releasing today at the time of the upload of this video, but you were able to get a digital deluxe version of the game if you wanted to get the game early, and I'm sure a hell of a lot of pre-orders were canceled because the Nintendo Switch version of the game is absolutely ass-tastic. Well, Sega social media manager Kate, I'm not going to try to say her last name because I will butcher it, actually took to Twitter and said the following statement: "Appreciate all your feedback on Sonic Colors Ultimate, and teams are listening and assessing for an upcoming patch. Thank you for all your patience as we dig into this. Quick aside, we've seen some graphical issues that were caused by an emulator, which is unfortunately outside of our control. Trying to figure out what bugs are legitimate can really slow down the QA process. If you're having issues, please do flag them here." So that's a good statement to come out with. I don't think Sega wants this game to be absolute dog shit, especially on the Nintendo Switch, because Sega games sell well on Nintendo platforms, especially on the Nintendo Switch. So they probably didn't really know just how butchered this version of the game that Blind Squirrel was working on, because really the onus falls on them. Like, don't go attacking the social media manager, like trying to be cool in her replies and be like, "Hey, the game sucks so bad." Like, she's a social media manager. She has nothing to do with the production of the game. You talk to the people who were involved in the production of the game, or just talk to the studios involved. You don't have to go after individual people. Like, video games are made by teams. Stop going after individual people. It's like sociopath behavior, and it makes gamers look just completely unhinged. But obviously there are problems with this version of the game, and really it sucks, because I wanted to buy this game physically. I wanted to have this game in my physical collection, but it's kind of like, you know, that physical cartridge is going to be kind of pointless because the version that's on the physical cartridge sucks. You know, that's the version with all the problems in it, and you'll have to download subsequent patches in order to get like a better version of the game. Sega should have followed Blind Squirrel closely on this project. They obviously sort of let this one fall through the cracks because the game has fundamental issues that need to be fixed. Now, I do think that most of these issues can be fixed. Of course, you're going to be having those 30 frames per second in the gameplay. If that's a deal breaker, buy it on another platform. And it does seem like the next gen consoles, or the current gen consoles, but we still have to call them next gen consoles, such as the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, have no issues with their versions of the game. But like, I feel like this is a game that's tailor-made for the Nintendo Switch. Hell, the game originally came out on the Wii, and that's where many people have the memories of this game from. So it's just a shit situation. Blind Squirrel, like, just go away. Like, just work on like small mobile games or something like that, games that don't require a lot of hard work, because obviously you guys screwed up WWE 2K18, you screwed up Sonic Colors Ultimate. Both games are on the Nintendo Switch. You don't really know what you're doing. Like, no hate or anything like that. Like, I don't hate the people at the studio, but I hate the work that you guys do, if that sort of makes any sense. So are you picking up Sonic Colors Ultimate on the Nintendo Switch? Let me know in the comments down below. Alrighty, so that is going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I mean, video game news was kind of light. Yesterday was a holiday in the States, but definitely the second half of the week will be picking up. So let me know what you think of everything, like I said, in the comments down below. And as always, guys, thank you sincerely for checking out this video. Please share it with your friends so the video gets views, so I can make money, because like I said, I spent a lot of money on stupid furniture yesterday. Being an adult sucks. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.